I didn't lose my faith in the firefight. I lost it when I came home. The silence was louder than the explosions. You get therapy for memories, the flashbacks, the anger. But what do you do when you feel like your soul is gone? When the part of you that knows who you are, what you stand for, just isn't there anymore? This is the reality of countless veterans, men and women lying awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wrestling with wounds that don't bleed. You can see a doctor for your back, you can take medication for your anxiety, but when the wound is in your spirit, when you've lost your compass, where do you go? We talk about PTSD a lot, and we should. We talk about therapy, medication, and support groups, and they save lives. But what if a crucial piece of the healing puzzle has been hiding in plain sight all along? What if recovery isn't just about repairing the mind, but restoring the soul? Today we're exploring pastoral care, a powerful, often overlooked resource that's helping veterans find their way home again. When a service member comes home, the war doesn't necessarily end, it just changes. For some, it's fought in the middle of the night, sitting bolt upright in bed after another nightmare. For others, it's fought behind the wheel in traffic, heart pounding, scanning every car like it might be a threat. Sometimes it's fought in the frozen moment when someone drops a glass in a restaurant, and the sound sends you somewhere you don't want to go. PTSD is more than bad memories. It's a thief. It steals sleep. It steals peace. It digs a trench between you and the very family you risked everything to come home to. And then there's moral injury. If PTSD is the violent storm rocking your ship, moral injury is the storm that destroys your compass. Even when the water's calm, you have no direction, no sense of north. It's the guilt over what you did or didn't do to survive. The shame of what you witnessed that broke your sense of right and wrong. This wound isn't in the brain, it's in the conscience. It's not just fear, it's loss of meaning. One veteran described it as feeling like a ghost in his own life. His wife said, it's like the light in his eyes went out. He's here, but he's not here. In the Redeployed, I've seen the same light return when men finally say, I've lost my bearing. And someone answers, I know. I've been there too. Let's walk this out together. The standard path for a veteran seeking help can feel like a maze. Appointments, forms, medications, acronyms you have to Google. Therapy, whether cognitive processing therapy, prolonged exposure, or EMDR, is saving the life for many. Medication can calm the storm enough to sleep, but for some, there's still a hollow place therapy doesn't quite reach. That's because therapy often deals with what happened, but struggles to answer, what does this mean for who I am now? It's like a carpenter trying to repair a house after an earthquake, patching holes in the walls, fixing broken windows, while ignoring the cracked foundation. That cracked foundation is the spiritual crisis. And here's the dangerous part. When even the best help doesn't make that pain go away, veterans can start believing they're beyond repair. I've been in that headspace. And I've sat with men in the Redeployed who were there too, ready to give up because they thought nothing could touch the shame in their soul. And research backs this up. Dr. Irene Harris at the Minneapolis VA found that unresolved spiritual distress was pushing some veterans towards suicide. They could learn to manage fear and anger, but still believe they were unforgivable. Without tending to the soul, we're only treating half the wound. For many, the unexpected bridge to healing comes through the VA chaplain service. Now, if you're picturing a chaplain just handing out Bible verses, think again. VA chaplains are clinically trained professionals, part of the medical team. They're there for veterans of any or no faith. Their role isn't to preach, it's to walk with you through grief, loss, and meaning. Over 90% of the VA chaplains deal with moral injury regularly, and they partner with mental health providers to form a whole person approach to recovery. One veteran I know went to a chaplain expecting a sermon and said he found someone who listened without judgment, who didn't try to hand him a pre-drawn map, but was willing to hold the flashlight while he found his own step. That's what makes chaplains such a powerful bridge. They can often reach veterans who would never set foot in a counselor's office. And once trust is built, they can connect them to other resources, just like we do in the Redeployed, when a brother needs more than peer support. Pastoral care isn't just a nice chat. Programs like Building Spiritual Strength, BSS, proves it works. BSS is an 8-session group co-led by a chaplain and a mental health professional. Think of it as climbing a mountain with 2 guides, one teaching you the ropes, the other helping you understand why you're climbing at all. The results are impressive. Significant drops in PTSD symptoms, decreased spiritual distress, continuing even months after the program ends. Veterans reconnecting with their values and sense of purpose. Inside these groups, veterans explore forgiveness of others and of themselves. They wrestle with questions like, how do I make meaning from my suffering? They share stories, realizing they're not alone in the darkness. I've seen similar transformations when men combine professional care with community. In the Redeployed, we're not there to replace therapy, but be the brothers who walk beside you while you apply it in the real world. The journey from combat to peace is one of the hardest you'll ever take, and you're not meant to take it alone. If you know a veteran struggling in silence, share this video. Let's break the stigma around moral injury and spiritual care. If you're in crisis, dial 988 and press 1 for the Veterans Crisis Line. And if you're curious about pastoral care at your local VA, check their website. That first veteran, the one who felt his soul was gone, didn't find a magic cure. But with the chaplain's help and with the right support, he learned to see his scars as part of his story, not a sentence of shame. Pastoral care doesn't replace therapy, it completes it. It's the peace that heals the warrior as a whole person, mind, body, and spirit. And when you heal the soul, you give a veteran more than survival. You give him a way to truly live again. Hey, I've been there with you, and I know what it's like to walk with PTSD. I encourage you today, if you haven't subscribed to the channel or maybe any comments, or do that today. Also, in the description below, you'll see a link for what I call the 7-day soul reset. It's a way to get yourself restarted into what it's like to live with PTSD and still be spiritual. I know what it's like to feel disqualified, to feel like you're no good, to feel like you aren't making a difference anymore. I know what it feels like. And I encourage you, join the Redeployed. And remember, you're not disqualified, you're just being redeployed.